Welcome to AK's Educations. So today we're just going to see an important chapter which is accounting for companies. In accounting for companies, we're just going to see the topic which is shares. Alright, so most of the children would be wondering and making mistakes in this common content, which is none other than calls in arrears and calls in advance. So calls in arrears. So please remember this. So calls in arrears is debit and credit. Calls in advance is credit and debit. So this one, what is the use of this? Obviously, when you're making journal entries, you have to do accordingly. That is, first calls in arrears is appearing, obviously you have to debit it. Then later if the shareholder is repaying the money, you have to credit it. Calls in advance, obviously first when the shareholder is paying in advance, you have to credit it. To the respective calls, you have to debit it. So what is this calls in arrears? Calls in arrears is nothing but it is an asset for the company. Okay, calls in advance, it is a liability for the company. So how do you find this out? It's a simple thing. Okay, so we put it as ALCER. So this is debit balance and this is credit balance. So obviously calls in arrears is an asset for the company. Okay, and later when he's paying it, obviously the company receives as a revenue. Alright, so calls in advance is a credit for the company. Credit in the sense it is a liability for the company. And later down he pays, obviously the company intent is paying it. So obviously it is an expense for the company. So I'll just explain you this. Obviously you would have seen this in trial balance. This is the modern method. This is nothing other than modern method. Okay. Alright, so this is asset, this is liability, this is capital, this is expense, and this is revenue. Expenses and losses, revenue and income. Alright, so I think this content will be useful for you. Alright, so please remember, calls in arrears means first debit it and credit it. Calls in advance in the sense it is credit and debit. Thank you.